Yeah, just probably drugs. But also like, you know, free-spirited, like open-minded people.
I don't know, mountains and Alps and...
I don't know. Is it like the wooden shoes?
You guys drink a lot of beer.
Red light district.
The beautiful tulips?
I wouldn't know. The first thing to do there.
Skating and the boats and the flowers. Everyone says the flowers are amazing.
You can't go anywhere in the Netherlands.
Bikes, yeah.
Bikes.
Hey, I'm Dennis.
And Peter.
And this is my American friend. We are in New York. And in this video we're going to talk about how you guys see us Dutch people. Because there's a lot of prejudice and a lot of stereotypes. And
we like Dutch people.
Well, that's the beginning of the video, but wait until you hear what he has to say. Right. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we have more videos about comparing American and Dutch culture. We have Dutch culture things, we have travel videos. So let's hit that subscribe button together, okay? We'll count to 3 and then we'll just push it. 1, 2, 3. Push the subscribe button. It's a difficult word. His American is better than mine.
I hope so.
Yeah, you're born here, right?
I'm born here. I'm born in New York.
A real New Yorker.
I could do an accent if you want.
Try it.
What do you want me to say?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Oh, that sounds good.
Right?
It sounds like you normally sound.
I try.
Okay, so let's dive into the stereotypes, or at least how you guys look at the Dutch people.
The Netherlands, right? As being a nice place, but we never learned about it in school. So it's just this place all the way up north that I think of kind of, it's kind of like Amsterdam maybe, I guess.
I think it's one of the more freedom-free countries that I have visited in Europe.
What is the first thing that pops into your mind?
Weed.
Yes,
right? Isn't it in Amsterdam? Can you buy weed everywhere?
You can,
right?
But I'm not surprised that this was the first thing that comes into your head, because when we are traveling, if we say we are from the Netherlands, then the first thing people will say is like, "Oh, so you'll smoke weed?"
Yeah, I think like everybody don't like you on like the weekends at night. Like, doesn't everyone do drugs?
No.
In the Netherlands? Oh.
No. This is actually a fun fact that in America, 13% of the people, they do weed, they smoke weed, and in the Netherlands only 5% smoke weed. Of course it's accessible in the Netherlands. You can go into a coffee shop in the Netherlands and get weed.
Well, what is it like? Like you could buy like a joint, or is it food, everything?
No, it's more the joints or the grass itself, and you can roll your own joint with it. They're called coffee shops, which actually is a funny thing, because when you are a tourist and you go to Amsterdam, don't go into a coffee shop if you're just looking for coffee, because a coffee shop, it means that you buy the drugs.
But where do you go for coffee?
A bar or cafe.
Oh. Yeah. So at a coffee shop they don't sell coffee?
No, they only sell weed. You'll smell it when you walk into it. We actually have a funny video on our channel about things not to do in the Netherlands. So check out that video, we'll link it up here somewhere. And that will show you the things not to do when you visit Amsterdam. But why the Dutch people legalized marijuana or weed is because they want to regulate it. If you make it accessible, the drug culture will not go underground, you know? So that's why they decided to make it legal to at least own a little bit of weed. You're not allowed to buy it in bulk. The companies or the shops are not allowed to keep a really large stock, so it's all regulated very well.
Well, see in New York too, because it's legal for medical marijuana in states like Massachusetts, you can buy recreational marijuana, but I don't know, it'd be interesting if you smell it in New York too, because it's still illegal and it's still prohibited, but it's becoming in America a little bit more of a thing.
You guys are a little bit below sea level, and that's fine, you know, to each their own. I think it would make more sense to go somewhere where it's a little drier and you don't have to have those big, you know, canal dams and keeping water out of everything. And I've heard that the nightlife is fun and that there are legal brothels. Right?
Second stereotype, let's move away from the drug.
Well, not too far away. I think of the red light district. Is that something that's a real, we know it's real. Like, is that in movies, or is it something that's like a real thing?
It is a real thing. I know a lot of foreigners think that everybody in the Netherlands goes to...
Isn't it like a drive-through? Like you could drive in?
I think...
No, I saw a video. Like you could drive in like a car wash, and then there's...
I think there is one area where but it's rather new. But the red light district is really old. Not every Dutch person goes to a hooker.
Is it something that's just in Amsterdam, or is it all over?
All over. Okay. But Amsterdam is the most famous.
And what's the reason behind it? Because when I think of the Dutch, I don't think of a very, you know, crazy party. I think it's there's a reason behind it, right?
Yeah. It's about openness and regulation. If you make prostitution open and accessible, then people will not exploit it it as much.
Like it's going to happen anyway, so you might as well
Yeah.
make it so it's safe.
Exactly,
The workers are taken care of
The
medically,
workers are
things like
taken
that.
care of, they pay taxes, they have STD tests every now and then. It's all regulated so well, so it's also very safe. That's the same with the weed. So you know that the product that you buy in those shops, it is a good product.
Now let me ask, is it only female workers or are there male workers as
There
well?
are male workers as well. Yeah, but
Interesting.
it is a smaller crowd.
Okay.
In Amsterdam, you can actually have different colors of windows. The red one are the women, and then there's also the blue lights, which is for transgender people, and also for men. I think it's blue as well.
And now do women go to them at all ever or no?
Probably.
Interesting.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be working. Next one, Peter. What is the next stereotype? You're being hard on us, actually. What are you doing?
Well, aren't you wearing wooden shoes?
No, I'm wearing fancy socks.
Oh, I thought all Dutch people wore, do you call them clogs, wooden shoes?
Wooden shoes, clogs.
The wooden shoes actually people used to wear.
They-
I thought it was just symbolic of the
No.
clogs, like
No,
for
no,
decoration,
no.
but people used to wear them for farming, right?
Nowadays they are used for decoration. They put them on the wall and they put flowers in it. There are a lot of farmers that still wear the wooden shoes.
Have you ever worn them?
I have worn them as like for fun, but not a whole day or something.
Are they? I would think they're uncomfortable.
Fun thing is that they are supposedly very good for your feet. I have no idea. I haven't walked on them for a whole day.
That's
But a
really
lot of
fun.
the farmers, they still use wooden shoes.
The actual, like, when we think of clogs, that those are kind of modeled after the
Yeah.
wooden shoes, like
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that we would wear in the
Yeah,
winter.
yeah.
I also know the Netherlands are really big into cheese and Heineken.
Well, the other thing I think about, well, definitely windmills. Like, how many windmills are there? Millions?
I don't think millions, but there are a lot of windmills.
Like, how many are in your town?
None, actually. Yeah. There are towns with no windmills.
And are they colorful, or are they wood, or?
No, it's
both?
mostly wood, and they are used to make like flour for the breads and stuff. That's mostly what they were used for, and some of them still work.
If I visit, though, you'll take me to a windmill?
Yeah, sure. It's 15 minutes or something by bike. We have to go by bike because we bike a lot.
Yeah, that's something. It's not a bad. It's just something we think about, which
Yeah.
is good. It's very healthy that
Yeah,
everyone
it
bikes.
is.
And I've actually seen, it was cool. I was watching a video, and there's like parking garages for bikes, which you don't have at all in America.
You have been giving me a hard time with all these stereotypes. What is the next one? Just let's get it over with.
Tulips, which are they? Because I think like we get tulips here. They're mostly from the Netherlands, and it's all year, which I don't understand. Do they have big greenhouses? Because it's not a winter flower.
No, they have greenhouses for the tulips. But the funny thing is, first of all, tulips are not from the Netherlands. They come from Iran and Turkey. That is actually where they come from. But in the 1600s, because the Dutch are known for their tradesmanship, so they brought over the flowers and they started mass producing them. The flower fields that you might have seen pictures of or something, they bloom in April. Those flower fields are only there for the bulbs. They don't even cut off the flowers to sell them. That's what in my head is so weird. They don't use the flowers. The flowers will just be there and they just die, and they take the bulbs
and sell them here. Like we could buy bulbs right now. They sell
Yeah.
them in the store so you can get ready.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So the bulbs, you can see them everywhere in Amsterdam. But it's nice to have some Dutch tulips in your garden. Okay, so the windmills, the tulips, we've had it all.
Good.
Do you have any other stereotypes, or are you almost done?
I have two more.
Oh.
First one, I saw something. There's a boy. There's something with a finger in the dike.
That is actually a super funny story. Because there's a famous American story about a boy called Hans Brinker, and he earned his silver skates in a skating competition.
Is this
And-
recent or
No,
is this a long time ago?
This is a long time ago. It's an old story. And then in this story, there is a sub-story or a story in a story that tells a story about him putting his finger in the dike because there was a leakage.
Oh.
And then he puts his finger in the hole, so the village doesn't flood. And then he keeps his finger there the whole night until he's rescued or something and somebody takes over. And this is a super funny story because it's not even a Dutch story. It's
That's crazy.
completely made up by
Yeah, I
an
heard
American.
pieces of that, but it's
Yeah.
like and it's good to hear the whole story, even though it's not like something that's real. But
Yeah.
it's an interesting story, especially to tell kids, I think.
It is funny, and a lot of Dutch people don't even know the story. Don't even know the story exists, because let me tell you, if you put a finger in the dike, it won't stop the leaking because it will not be just one hole.
That could be another video. We'll try that.
Yeah, we could try. You can put your finger in the dike for a whole night. It is funny because it does stem from the fact that the Dutch are so good with their water. 23% of the Netherlands is below water level, so we really have.
Is there a lot of flooding? In Amsterdam, I thought.
No, in Amsterdam not, but in
But
other parts of the country there are floods. Some every now and then.
But they've done a lot, like meaning like because they know with climate change and other stuff.
Yes,
like you guys are way ahead of the game,
Yeah.
which is excellent.
Our expertise is used worldwide. people from the Netherlands are flown in for water.
Yeah,
problems
that's something I
everywhere.
think about. That's a positive.
Yeah,
it's not
and
a stereotype.
it's the
good.
dikes are there. We have dikes everywhere to keep the rivers in their beds.
One of the other ones that I wanted to bring up is I think of it as very cold and windy, like kind of.
It will be cold and windy, and especially rainy. The Netherlands is known for the rain, the amount of rain that falls. We have so many rainy days.
And is it darker in the winter, like in the summer? Because I know when
Yeah.
you go to like Scandinavia, it's like very like it's almost till 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
or-
that's worse.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's the same as in New York. In this time of year, in December in the winter, it gets dark at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and at around 8 o'clock in the morning.
And what
it's
about
light
the
again.
summer though? Like
It
how
will-
long will the sun stay out?
It
till
will
at
stay
night?
out. You can stay out outside until like 10:30 or
Yeah,
11.
that's different. It's only till
Yeah.
about 9:30 here.
no.
But the further north you go,
Yeah.
it's different. Like maybe
We have long summer nights, which is awesome if you love summer nights, of course.
All right.
Was that your whole list?
No, I know I said 2 before, but I have one more.
Oh, I was almost
One
getting
more.
happy.
Sorry, we can add them, right?
It's okay. You can do it. It's fun. I mean, I'm just so offended for the Dutch.
Well, this one it's interesting, but when I think of the Dutch, I think of them as, you know, polite, but not as friendly as Americans. Kind of like just direct.
Some
you know.
people, they will tell we're rude. We're not rude, actually, I think. We are known for our directness.
Right.
It's not being impolite, we're just being honest, direct, and very down to earth. Compared to the Americans, that's really difficult because you are so open and enthusiastic.
Oh, you'll sit and talk on a bus to the
Yeah,
person sitting next to you, which
exactly.
I'm in the middle. Sometimes I'll engage, but sometimes I'm like, okay, like, and that's where headphones come in.
But for
You
us,
just put your headphones on, and no one will talk to you.
in the Netherlands, it's more common to not talk to people on the bus than to engage in a
So
conversation.
what would they do? Like, would they be uncomfortable? Would they just stop talking, or do they play? Because Dutch are very polite
It
too. Will they
depends.
play along just to not?
No,
be rude?
if you don't want to talk, then you'll just give a short answer and go back to your phone or your book or whatever.
But they won't be like, can you please be quiet? I want to sit on the bus in peace.
That's also directness, huh? If you
Yeah,
don't want
maybe.
it, you'll say it. If you don't want to talk, you'll say
Like,
it.
I'm sorry, I'm reading my book, which I think is actually really good. Like, why should
Yeah.
the person suffer for 40 minutes listening to the person? Like, just say, I'm reading my book.
Exactly. That is why us Dutch people see that Americans a little bit maybe as almost as fake enthusiastic, you know?
Yeah.
It's so enthusiastic. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's great. And in the Dutch, we have a saying, "Doe normaal," which is more like don't exaggerate that much because we're so down to earth and everything. You should really check out that video on Dutch Culture Shock that we have on our channel. It's really fun and interesting, I think. So there you have it. The stereotypes that a real New Yorker has about the Dutch.
Which I've learned a lot. Now I know, like, you know,
Yeah.
what's true, what's not, and, you know, it's good.
Most of it is based on truth, which is always the case with stereotypes, I think. It's exaggerated a little bit, but it's based on truth. So let us know if you are offended, if you are a Dutch person watching this, if you agree with Peter, if you're an American, or just leave a comment and let us hear what you have to say about it. Or do you have some other stereotypes that Peter missed out on?
Yeah, and I'm happy you can respond. And
Respond, comment, leave a comment. And we'll see you soon in more videos on American versus Dutch culture, because that's why we're here in New York filming a lot. We're taking a lot of Peter's time.
Oh, I like this. This is fun for me.
It is fun for us. Stay tuned. See you soon. Thanks for watching and leave a comment. Bye.
Bye.